Hey guys, Ruggero here from One Foot in the Door. Happy New Year. I hope you had a good holiday season and I hope you're keeping safe under these crazy times we're living. So I got a really cool question by Leonardo Oliveira Modesto. So Leonardo is a director and he told me that he's going to be shooting a romance series this year. So well done for that. That's great. So Leonardo asked me, how can he, as a director, help his actors through the long shooting days without giving them an emotional map? Now, an emotional map, as far as I think that's what it means, is when you just tell an actor, okay, here you need to be sad, here angry, here, whatever. Which obviously can be quite off-putting and is not the best way to go about this. So this question made me think a lot about rehearsal, about the importance of rehearsal, and about how best to organize the rehearsals, because there are many different aspects to the rehearsal process. Some are fundamental, you have to do them. Others are sort of add-ons. If you do it, great. If you don't, you can still get away with it. But I find sometimes both directors and actors tend to overlook at least one of these aspects. Okay, so and there's three main things. There's analysis, getting into character, and the specifics of a scene. Okay, so these three aspects are things that come together to make a really great performance. I, as I had found that usually people do only one or two of these. They tend to skip over at least part of this process. Now, this is very important both for directors to know how to do and for actors, because guys, let's remember, for example, when you're preparing for an audition, you don't have a director, so you have to direct yourself. And very often, even if you get cast in a movie, you might not really have a director that likes to work with actors or even has time to work with actors. Or even if it is a director who likes to work with actors, maybe he will not have time to work with you specifically. Maybe she'll be too busy with the leads, and if you have only a tiny role, she won't have time to come and work with you on the performance. She'll expect you to just do it. So how do you do this? Okay, so today we are going to talk about the first aspect, which is analysis. Analysis, as the name suggests, is mainly an intellectual activity, okay, if you like. Can be a bit boring, it can, but it is extremely important. So what does it mean? Okay, it means this: you need to read the whole thing, obviously. If it is just an audition, it's very little, and it's actually harder if it is an audition because you don't have as many information about your character. If this is not, if that's not it, if you have more, then it's different. It's easier in a way. But you need to go through everything. And what I suggest is that you write down in bullet points all the information that are on the page for your character. Anything that is actually being said about this person, or any information that you can gather from things that are hinted at. But anything that is concrete and you can say, okay, this is it, these are these information. This person is an orphan, this person is a drug dealer, this person is a hero, this person, whatever. And even more specific than that, he owns a company with 15 employees, or she is a scientist who has created this crazy new thing, and she hates her sister, and. So it's going to be you will end up with a long list of concrete information, okay? And that's extremely important. Those concrete information are the basis upon which you will build your character. But that's not it. That's not all, okay? There's a second type of analysis, which is even more important to a certain degree. And it's this: you need to understand what is your function in the story. So, are you the protagonist? If you are, great, that's easy, you're the protagonist. You need to carry the audience's attention all the time, all throughout this journey. That's really hard to do. And you need to be aware of what that means. if you're starting out, usually you will not be the protagonist. But so who are you? Are you the antagonist? Are you the best friend? Are you just a character that appears in one little scene? What is the function of your character? Why does your character exist in this story? What does the protagonist need from your character, for example? Okay. And how does the scene work? So are you a bored receptionist that through his sheer boredom forces the protagonist to go through a convoluted way to get into the office because you will not allow him in just because you're bored and you don't want to look at who he is, for example? Or are you a by-the-book policeman that will help the protagonist through something? Whatever it is. So what is your function within the story? Okay. And again, just look at what's on the page for now. Later on, you will need to build upon this, but for now, just what's on the page. Okay. So once you finish your analysis, you should have, ideally on the page, I do recommend you write this down, it's important, two long lists, basically. One long list of facts and an analysis. Again, I like bullet points, maybe that's just me, but an analysis of who you are, who your character is, and what is the function of your character in the whole story, and also within each single scene. Because sometimes, even if you are like the sidekick, your function in a particular scene can be to actually create obstacles for the protagonist. In other scenes, instead, you'll be helping the protagonist. Each moment will be different. Each scene will be different. So you need to know what are you doing, what you expect it to be doing. Okay, we'll worry about how you'll be doing that in the next video. Okay, but that is the first thing. So analyze all of this, and you need to know it. Okay, so guys, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you next week for the second part of this. Thank you very much. Bye bye.